right, welcome everybody to our final webinar of Eat Local Month. We are so excited to have had so many awesome participants throughout this month and so many amazing restaurants, chefs, bartenders, local farms. Everybody in our food community has been represented and come out so strong in this event. So thank you to everybody who's participated. I'm really excited tonight to get to introduce you to two of the chefs that helped put together your meal for week 4. So Rebecca McKibben from Manna and Brigid Hunt from Cooking Matters are both here, and they are about to walk us through a cooking demo for 2 special recipes that they are going to explain a little bit further. So thank you both for being here, and we're excited to see what you have to show us.
Great. Thank you, Emily. We're excited to be here too. Brigid, do you want to dive into a little bit about who we are, what we do? We want to tell you about our organizations. We want to tell you about our work, and then really connect the things that we're so passionate about with some creative ways that you can play with amazing local food at home. So we're going to give you a couple different recipes to play with, including a version of the amazing dessert that you enjoyed tonight if you were part of this amazing month of local meals. Brigid, do you want to talk a little bit about Cooking Matters?
Hi everyone, my name is Brigid. I'm the Southwest Program Associate for Cooking Matters Colorado, and I'm based out of here in Durango. And thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure to work with all of the different people in the community, all these, like you said, bartenders, chefs, cooks, Blaine from In the Weeds, you, of course, everyone from Local First. It's been so much fun. We're actually, so Cooking Matters, if you're not familiar with our organization, we teach nutrition education and cooking skills programming for free to families that are interested in learning how to shop for and cook healthy, affordable meals, which is super important, especially now, more than ever. And actually, the first recipe we're going to be making today is a Cooking Matters recipe. These recipes are awesome because they're super healthy. They're delicious, which is always a plus.
Yes.
And you can make a ton of substitutions, which is very important because recipes, you need to make them work for you, especially when you're on a budget. Also, this, it's just a really great recipe. It's also meant to be affordable. So most of our recipes are $10 for a recipe that's going to feed a family of 4. That's like a pretty good deal.
That's an amazing deal. And Brigid and I actually originally met when we were both with Cooking Matters, and it's such a delight to reconnect with this amazing
Working back together again.
Yay! And like Brigid said, I love that you mentioned, Brigid, that like these recipes, the recipe is not, don't be intimidated by your recipe. Don't be intimidated if you're missing an ingredient. Even today, we are using some substitutions. We're getting really creative with the recipe for the fall vegetable salad as written. We wanted to make sure we could focus as many local ingredients that we had available to us. And this is a recipe that just takes flavor and what you got, and you can go 100 different directions with it. So we're going to take one of those directions tonight. But recipes are a framework. They're not a rule. They're not a law. And in that idea that a recipe is a framework comes so much flexibility to be creative. So we really hope to really inspire you and give you some of that confidence in the kitchen, which I've also found to be something that is such a huge part of the Cooking Matters curriculum. And also the work that I'm a part of here at Manna. It's all about confidence. So I manage the culinary program here. And it's kind of like we've got Cooking Matters. It's teaching folks how to do this great work at home for their families on a budget and affordably. In the Manna Culinary Program, I have the immense pleasure of working with individuals who are overcoming adversity to help them to have the professional and the culinary skills to get out there and get a job in our amazing community in the restaurant or food service industry. And so, everything that Cooking Matters has to offer around how do we do this affordably, that's helpful for these clients as well. And we want to share this all with you. So we're going to give you a few tips, some language. We're going to show you also, in addition to this delicious local salad, you enjoyed papaya coconut treasure, a blessing of a recipe from our friend Chef Safari at Zawadi, who we've been in touch with all day, sharing pictures and making him hungry. We're going to do a version of that recipe. You might have heard when I spoke with Emily, or when I spoke with Local First originally in describing the dish. For Chef Safari, when he grew up and he was born in Kenya, that's where his childhood happened. He's cooked across the entire continent of Africa and the world. How lucky are we to have him here? Those ingredients, coconut, papaya, ginger, those are his local cuisine. And we get to share this amazing, really, foreign to us, right? I couldn't grow a papaya tree to save my life here. I can get away with kale. But we're going to take that recipe, which is a simple fruit compote. There's your first fancy kitchen word of the day for today. We're going to make a compote using melon today to demonstrate how it's a framework, right? The compote concept is a framework. We've got these melons, and we'll take you through all the different farms and local places. But this is also a local ingredient. Got the last of Heidi Rowers from Rowers Farms melons for the season. Yeah, drove to Pleasant View to get them. Here they are.
Shout out to you guys for all the melons. That was really great.
We love you, Rowers. So we're going to use this beautiful local melon and do a compote using the similar technique. You can do this with
any seasonal fruit.
Any seasonal fruit, right?
Really great. Yeah,
apples
absolutely.
right now, peaches when the Palisades are in season. I'm getting hungry just talking about it.
All right, well then let's get started.
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm thinking let's start with our salad.
Savory salad.
Let's start with our savory.
So we're doing a fall vegetable salad. I also made this summer when cherries were in season. I made it a summer vegetable salad. That was really good as well.
Oh.
But our base here is going to be really dark leafy greens,
Yep.
which is great because they're super healthy. They're chock full of vitamins. So we've got, I don't know how much kale right here, a large amount of kale. That the AmeriCorps NCCC that's here locally has been helping out with the Good Food Collective and at Manna, and in the harvest season, harvested 800 pounds of kale, I think.
800 pounds of kale.
So we've got a ton of fresh kale that just got harvested. I'm gonna put I don't know, let's just do 3 big handfuls to start.
Yeah, definitely.
This obviously was washed and dried and chopped up by another AmeriCorps AmeriCorps member, Megan for
AmeriCorps.
And this kale, obviously, very local, very fresh.
And we'll go ahead and talk about the next one here, and then I'll share. Well, I'm already interrupted you. I'm just gonna so I live at over 9,000 feet, and y'all can and those of you who've tried to garden can relate. We have a limited growing season, and soil can be tricky. I'm in a ponderosa forest. The acid levels don't agree with a lot of things, but I gotta tell you, I can grow some crazy kale and Swiss chard. It's amazing. They're like my go-to vegetables. Those of you who thought, I want a garden and I failed.
Chard and kale, they will grow through the cold. Right? They just so hardy, so resilient.
And all of that nutrition they're just sucking out of the earth.
I actually love, in this recipe, I really do like kale, but I always go a little heavier on the Swiss chard. If you're not familiar with chard, it's actually got a very similar consistency to spinach. I find it to be sweeter and less bitter than spinach, though, which is obviously really great for a salad, especially when you're pairing it with another bitter green. So let's do one.
Yeah, let's get another.
It's gonna be a really full bowl.
And I'm hoping you all can pick up on some of the really incredible colors happening here in this rainbow chard. We've got some of those hot pinks, the yellows, the whites. Those deep magentas, all of these colors and color. When we see color in food, Brigid, what does that mean?
A lot of color, a lot of vitamins.
Vitamins, nutrition, right?
Absolutely. Plus, we eat with our eyes first, right? If something looks appealing, especially if you have picky eaters at home, it's nice to make something really beautiful. Speaking of colors, Fields to Plate. We got a bunch of beets from Fields to Plate.
Thank you, Fields to Plate. Thank you, Matt.
Purple,
Thank you, James.
red, yellow
The
beets.
Chioggia, those beautiful red and white stripe look like a peppermint
What are
candy.
those called?
Well, I've heard it 2 ways. Forgive me, those of you, this will get some feedback. Chioggia or Chioggia? The Chioggia beet, and they're
That sounded the same to me.
well, I'll take it. And we shredded the beets for this
them with a
application.
grater box.
And
Let's do a little more.
so I know why I like to grate beets when I'm putting in the salad. How about you, Brigid?
I just find that the grating something, I like the texture, I like the size. I don't like big bites of beets. I just find it more palatable, I guess.
Yeah, beets are really strong. They can be a strong flavor. Some people are put off by the very earthiness of the beets. I will say when you're getting your hands on something really, really locally grown like this, they're so sweet. There's just these amazing sugars that this plant is storing. But like Brigid said, a great way to get a vegetable into a dish that makes it kid-friendly, and you're not going to get, just shred it right up. I've seen shredded beets be applied into a burger patty. You can take
Beet burgers are super tasty.
Super tasty.
Super tasty.
You can mix it in with the meat. If you have picky eaters and you need them to get more vegetables, sneaky vegetables with a grater is the way to go.
Apples, once again, harvested locally. This is through the Good Food Collective, so somewhere in town, anyone that listed a tree and had it part gleaned by the Good Food Collective, this may be your apples from your backyard.
Your backyard
I chopped them up earlier, so these have been soaking in lemon juice so that they don't get brown and kind of still maintain their pretty color.
So we call that acidulation, acidulated water. There's your next vocabulary word for the evening. And by acidulating these, we gotta get that sweetness in there. By putting that lemon juice into the apple, we get that combination of the sweet and the tart, and they stay a beautiful, that beautiful yellow golden color that you see in the apple as opposed to getting brown, which I'm sure you've seen if you've worked with apples. Are you thinking more?
Yes.
I'm ready to get a bigger bowl for this, Brigid, because this salad. And I like to point out, Brigid and I are here in the professional kitchen, so we do have our gloves on. So that's where, I'll probably have to change my gloves here, but we can get in there, safe, food safe. Oh yeah, look at the colors coming together.
And because our apples have been soaking in a bunch of lemon juice, we're not gonna, if I didn't do that, if I was just making it right away and hadn't prepared this mise en place, I would definitely squeeze a bunch of fresh lemon juice into the dressing, but I'm just not gonna do that because we've already got a ton of acidity going on.
Definitely.
This is what I'm super most excited about adding next. These are, where are they from again? You said?
Great question. So our baby turnips here, these beautiful Japanese turnips, and
Japanese
also our
turnips.
Swiss chard are from our friends at the Old Fort.
The Old Fort,
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
Japanese turnips are awesome because turnips, when you think turnips, you usually think, let's bake them, let's roast them, we've got to mash them, puree them, we have to cook them. These turnips are, what are they called? Basilica turnips, I think. So
Or
they
Japanese,
these Japanese turnips are from a family of turnips that are super sweet, super crisp. They're great to eat raw. They're actually called salad turnips as well. So
They're
these
like
are
vegetable candy.
Oh, they're so good.
Brigid, what are you thinking? I'm thinking maybe we should move all this into that big Swiss chard bowl.
I agree.
Yeah, right?
Let's do
And
that.
we're
And
gonna
we'll keep this chart in here.
Oh yeah, just get it all in there. Oh yeah, there we go.
Nice.
There we go. A rainbow of ingredients.
These are so good. They really are more like sweet radishes than they have like turnip, quote unquote turnip.
Yep, absolutely. I feel like baby turnips, these little sweet turnips, and cherry tomatoes, when I can get my hand on them, they're like my Skittles, right? They're the vegetable candies that we can get our hands on from our local farmers.
And then I guess the last two things we're gonna add. do you want to do the dressing?
Yeah,
first, or
I'll
should
go
we
ahead
do
and
our
get
little toppings?
Yeah, I think I'll get the dressing started so we can talk a little bit. So what I have for our dressing here, like Brigid mentioned, we're not going to add any extra lemon juice into our dressing to simply not go too far with our acidity. But we have some extra virgin olive oil and a nice, I believe we're using an apple cider vinegar. And a general idea with you'll notice that we're not here measuring, right? And that can come with time and comfortability, but something simple I can share with you is when you're mixing your own dressings at home, you want an approximately 3-to-1 ratio of your oil to your water, your liquid.
Unless you're me and you're doing them equal parts. I love heavy vinegar.
Get
but
that
that's
heavy
just me.
vinegar. And that's where, right, your taste is relative, and you've got to make it delicious for yourself. We also are going to add into this dressing some beautifully minced, thank you, sous chef Megan, garlic. This garlic is also from our friends at Fields to Plates, so another local ingredient. And we went heavy on the garlic.
Always heavy on the garlic, in my opinion.
In my opinion as well. So I'm going to add in some garlic. I've got my olive oil here.
And honestly, if you have olive oil at home and you like that, it's great as a salad dressing. But if you don't have it, canola oil is totally fine.
Totally fine. Yeah, absolutely. You got to work with what you got, and there's lots of different oils that you can use. And what I'm doing here is I am going to I'm going to do the impossible. I am going to take oil and water, and I am going to encourage them to blend. Our next vocabulary word is emulsify. We are emulsifying. We're using our whisk. We are whipping air into this beautiful, really nice and garlicky dressing that we got going on here.
And it really does make such a difference. It like brings forth this more creamy feeling. It's not cream based, but it does bulk it up.
Yeah, it bulks it up.
For lack of a better word.
The texture changes,
Yeah,
the mouthfeel
absolutely.
changes. You can also do this, of course, if you've got a blender. The blender can do a great job.
I usually just put all my ingredients in a big mason jar and then I shake
Thank you. Yeah.
it like crazy, and then I just
Shake it
have
in the
it
mason jar.
all week in my
You're
fridge.
emulsifying. Another ingredient, we're going to dab a little bit of just the classic yellow mustard that we have here at the Soup Kitchen. Mustard, it's vinegar based, in addition to those mustard seeds that get pureed up in there. And it really helps when you have a sauce to hold them together, hold those ingredients and keep your emulsification from breaking.
Absolutely.
And flavor, obviously.
And normally I would use a Dijon mustard. That would be my preference, but once we just didn't have it, and yellow mustard works just as well.
Sure
It might be the tiniest bit off on flavor, but you can really use any type of mustard.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you got.
Finish with these
You don't
guys,
have
or
to
do you want a
get-
little more?
Well, I would like for us we will do a little tasting of our food. When you're cooking, you want to taste our food as we go. So, a little chef pro tip for you. T-A-A-T. That means taste, analyze, adjust, taste again. So when I taste my dressing,
I thought you were spelling taste, and I was like, Becca, that's wrong.
T-A-T does not spell taste. We taste, we analyze, we adjust, we taste again. T-A-A-T. So I can't palate just the dressing by itself, so I usually get a little.
What about one of these guys?
Ooh, on a turnip, that's exciting. Yeah. So if you'll forgive me while I get to my
little turn.
get to my mouth here. What are you thinking, Brigid?
I think it's great.
I'm thinking about.
I can tell that there's a lack of lemon, a lack of acidity, but it's already in there, so I think that's
I was
why.
thinking a little higher on the acid too.
Yeah, but I think,
I do have the rest. I'll add a little more of the apple cider.
yeah.
That's our
And I
adjustment.
think once it kind of mixes in with the salad and hits the, those lemon drenched apples in here, then it'll be, pretty good to go. Maybe one more pinch of salt.
One more pinch of salt. And what about a little, I was thinking, since we've got all this local honey, which, y'all, there's like 4 gallons of honey in your dessert today, just so you know. I mean, you're not all gonna have 4 gallons of honey, but
You know what?
this was full when we started, right?
I think I have a touch of honey and a little bit of black pepper to offset that sweetness.
Another good emulsifier, honey. Thank you, Honeyville.
I know, we are so lucky that we've got people locally making honey. It's so
Taking
great.
care
There's
of
nothing
those
like it.
bees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like how that's actually changed the consistency. I can feel it on the wrist here. I'll kind of show y'all if you can see what
This
I'm doing
recipe
here.
does call for a very simple dressing, but I've made it so many times. It's really popular in my classes and in my home. So I've started kind of changing the dressing a little. And I was just, as I was saying earlier, I've made homemade honey mustard dressings with this, which is really great once again with the like bitter greens.
And
These are so tasty.
I know, they're
These
so
Japanese
good.
turnips.
I'm going in for my last tea, right? We made an analysis, we adjusted, and now I'm gonna taste it again.
What do you think?
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
it?
yeah, we're there. We're there. I'm looking for that balance. I want to feel the fat on my mouth from the oil. I want to see the garlic. I want to get a little bit of that hot punch from the mustard and the pepper. And then the sweetness of the honey, next level.
Right.
I'm still enjoying this delicious bite.
Another thing I love about the salad is because this kale is a super, I don't know, fibrous green. This isn't like a regular salad where the next day it's going to be wilted and gross. You're putting a lot of hearty vegetables in here, so it's actually going to taste even better tomorrow. So this is a salad that you can make ahead of time, which is not very common with the dressing all over it.
I've taken this camping.
Yes, it's a good camping salad. It is.
All right, we're ready to go here. I'm going to go ahead and
Go
just
for it.
go for it.
Awesome.
I'll let y'all see. Yeah. Look at the color on that. Let's start. Oh yeah, there's the garlic going in. Give that a toss, and I'll save a little extra in case we need it. Having a salad, isn't it tragic when you try to take home like leftover salad and go for it the next day and your romaine lettuce is just
Gross.
so bad? It's like the
Yeah.
best of intentions.
Yeah.
Like Brigid said, this salad, those hearty greens, they love to soak in this acid and they actually get to be a little bit softer too. So I know some
Absolutely.
folks,
This kale is going to be more palatable tomorrow than it is today.
yep, absolutely.
I can smell it. It smells amazing. I've actually never put Japanese turnips into this salad before, so I'm really excited about this. Even though I just made a huge load of this salad earlier in the week.
I'm thinking that's a good amount of dressing.
It actually is.
Need any
It's
more.
pretty well saturated, but not too much.
And just the rainbow.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful salad. It's definitely one of those showstopper salads. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's very pretty. And then the last thing that we do is I always love putting a handful of something crunchy. Today we went with almonds. That's usually my favorite go-to with this, but just a huge handful on top. You get that protein punch, that extra little bit of fat.
A good healthy fat.
Yeah,
Wow.
unsaturated fat. And then, just as important, some sort of soft cheese is really great as well. Today we're using feta. My preference sometimes, it really depends on what extra greens I'm putting in. Today we have feta, but blue cheese is
I was
great.
thinking blue too.
Goat cheese is amazing. So if you go to the market on Saturday, tomorrow, and you buy some goat cheese, put that in this salad for sure. Also, it does have saturated fat, a dairy product like cheese. Saturated fat actually really helps you absorb nutrients from dark leafy greens. So this isn't a terrible thing that you're doing. You're not making the salad unhealthy. You're adding a bunch of flavor to it. You're getting your calcium in there, some really great nutrients. It's actually kind of all working together.
We have so many
This is
food groups
beautiful.
represented in this dish. And a salad like this salad takes a grain really well too. So that could be something like quinoa out of the San Luis Valley. I've done it with, let's see,
barley, absolutely.
Right, so cooking off those grains, maybe you have too much, even rice would be just fine.
Brown rice would be really good.
Brown rice would be delicious.
Quinoa is usually my favorite because I really like the texture of it and I don't mind it cold. Whereas rice, I don't prefer it cold as much. But really, the best part.
Is there only one best part?
I mean, I keep saying that. The best part is that when you want this, maybe not as just a side salad, but your main dinner salad, adding quinoa to it is not only a whole grain, but it is a complete protein. So you're really hitting every single food group really intently, and I love that you're going for it with the cheese.
Needed more cheese.
I very much approve of it.
You know, speaking of protein, like let's say you're in a hurry, maybe you've got some of this at home, you can pick up a rotisserie chicken from the store and chill some chicken and throw it on this salad.
Absolutely. I've done it with fish, chicken, whatever, really. Well, big, beautiful salad. And honestly, like we said, it might take a minute to chop all of your ingredients, but it's something that you can make ahead of time and you can eat it all week long. It's not going to get gross and go bad. It just keeps really, really well.
It just gets better with time. Key being those really hearty greens. What other hearty greens could we use, Brigid? So we've got the kale varieties, the Swiss chard varieties, the beet greens. That was great. We planned that.
Beet greens are really great. Beet greens are actually one of those things, surprisingly, that are very sweet as well.
Yeah. And folks don't know that sometimes you don't realize that's a plant you can eat from root to leaf. Get the whole thing. I love when I can find my
stems as well.
Yeah, the stems on. I go the stems, the leaves, just like we did with the Swiss chard. Now I'm hungry just staring at the salad.
And spinach, of course. Even if you wanted to put a lettuce in there, that's fine. I would just keep in mind if you're eating it throughout the week, making a big batch, lettuce isn't going to last as long as a heartier green.
Exactly.
All right, great. So we've got our fall vegetable salad. Once again, it's a Cooking Matters recipe. Not all of these ingredients are in the recipe, but we've just kind of substituted with whatever is local and fresh and good right now. And a big thank you to all the farms that grew this beautiful salad.
Thank you.
All right.
Are you ready to transition to
Yes.
some dessert? Okay. So here it is. This is the last of the cantaloupe in 4 counties. I mean, I don't know. This is a precious ingredient here. So again, this is our take on our local spin on the papaya coconut treasure. So we've diced up this is a cantaloupe melon here, grown by our friends the Rowers, like we mentioned.
Picked them up just 2 days ago.
Super fresh,
Smell amazing.
right off the farm.
And we thought, how are we going to kind of replicate Chef Safari's dessert, but make it with local ingredients? And we thought, okay, well, we've got these beautiful melons. It's the last of them for the season. What are we going to do with it? We're going back to honey. We've got local honey again. And just right outside in the Manna Soup Kitchen's garden, I went and picked a bunch of basil, chopped our basil up, and then we have a bunch of lemon balm as well, which smells amazing. And we're going to cook down our honey with our herbs.
Yep, we'll do some honey, a little bit of lemon juice to pull together the sweet, the acidity. We went and we did some research to find some flavors that really complement the cantaloupe, which is where we landed in this beautiful herb, and it's great that we could just source them truly right out of the yard right here. So we'll just let our honey drizzle in here. And now this is a little bit different than the way the coconut and the papaya were prepared. And that's because the papaya can really handle heat. So those ingredients simmer together for an hour to really allow those flavors to blend.
Get to know each other.
Now, get to know one another. Now, cantaloupe, as I hope you know, it doesn't, it's so liquidy. It's just so much like water and sunshine in this magical,
It's very gentle.
it's soft, it's delicate, and it's not going to be terribly happy if I throw it on the stove for an hour. So what we're going to do here is we're going to prepare this lovely little sauce. Here, you want to join me?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to pull all the flavor out of that basil
from these beautiful bees work.
What I loved about this idea when you said basil, I immediately was like, yes, that sounds amazing. I think basil lemonade, that herbaceous with sweet and acidity, it's such a good combination. And melons are so sweet. I think an herbaceous sort of like sauce, syrup, or whatever we want to call this is going to be really tasty. And the idea here is this is very simple. You chop up your melon, you get, there's an easier way to
There
do
you
this.
go. There you go.
Am I just going for it?
Yeah, let's do it. We want all of that in there.
So we've got our honey, super sweet, and we're really just going to heat it up.
Yep, and I'll add in, I'm doing about 2 parts honey to 1 part lemon. Get you right in there. Throw that on for a little bit of heat. Beautiful. And let those ingredients come together. Brigid, how are you feeling on the amount of melon to liquid? Should we pull back on some of the melon? Maybe
I would go for it. I think that
pull in,
once
let it
that
just-
kind of, those bonds and the honey break up a little, and it's less sticky, it's less viscous, is that the word I'm looking for? It's really going to spread out, and I think it's going to coat everything nicely.
Pull the liquid out of the melons.
We're also going to be, we're lucky, we have some homemade, the ice cream, the other components of the dessert everyone got tonight, we have some of that left over. So this is going to be served over something that's already sweet. It melts, it's going to be kind of liquidy. Our creme anglaise.
Yes.
So I think that it's fine. It's gonna, I think it's gonna grow.
There it is. We just came together, all the lemon
Perfect.
and honey. I'm gonna throw the herbs right in. When working with fresh herbs like this, they don't mind when you hit them into a hot pan. You can actually, say we're doing some pasta cooking and you want to get your oil nice and hot. And then you can fry your green parsley or basil right into that hot oil, and it actually will help it to retain its beautiful color. So I'm going to go ahead and let this basil go for it. Get in there, let your flavors out. Little lemon balm, brilliant idea.
It smells amazing.
Right.
It's gonna be, I think, especially with something like ice cream, something that's cream-based, something that's got fat in it is gonna pair really, really nicely with something that has a lot of acidity in it. Because we put now lemon juice, lemon balm. I think it's gonna have like a really big pop. It's gonna be zesty and colorful. So it's gonna be really good with coconut ice cream, I think. I'm gonna try it at least.
I mean, I think
It's probably gonna be okay.
I think it's probably going to be like really delicious. I am content here. We have our herbs stewing in this nice mixture of our lemon and our honey. I'm just going to give it a little. You gotta just get your little sniffer in there.
Yeah, that's
Right? All right. Brigid, would you mind? Would you be so
Absolutely.
kind as to just to stir us in here?
And what I love about Chef Safari, and like you said, he's been all over the world. He has so much influence from his childhood, where he's traveled, his home country. But these ingredients, they're really simple. They're local ingredients. They're simple. We're not like reinventing the wheel here. We're just making sure that our flavors are complementary. And I think that's what I love. There's something comforting about something simple and good. It's nutritious, it's tasty. I love that I just picked these up from Heidi Rower and had a nice conversation with her.
We snipped the basil out of the garden as a part of our prep today, spending time in the sun with the plants themselves.
And as I'm thinking about Chef
flavors are
Safari,
all coming together.
before I forget, I want to give him a shout out because he's actually a Hall of Fame Cooking Matters volunteer.
Woo!
He has been a volunteer chef at Cooking Matters for many years. Yeah, almost 10 years.
Yeah.
So, big shout out to him.
And
that's really awesome.
We love this. So Chef Safari is a long-time member of the Cooking Matters family, and he was one of the original chef instructors for the Manna Culinary program.
Right? So we're really pumped that we got to be part of this particular harvest.
It's amazing.
Well, I'm gonna try it.
And sitting here, as we're sitting here, like just loving on our friend who go use your $10 gift cards to eat Zawadi and then spend a ton more money because, oh, it's worth it. Oh, these flavors are coming together in this bowl. Look at the liquid releasing out of those melons.
It's sweet, but it's almost a savory type of sweet, which is awesome.
I'm getting excited. All right, okay, let's see.
It's tasty.
One spoon in the food, one in my mouth. Can I hit you here, Bridget?
Oh, I already
you
used
got
my
your
fork, and
excellent.
that was delicious and good.
Okay.
So later we'll get the coconut ice cream out, and we'll repeat that.
What are you thinking about a pinch of salt?
Yes. I wish that we had like a really large grain of salt. I love
Kosher, big
Yes.
kosher, me too.
but a little bit of salt with something that's sweet and herbaceous, like sea salt chocolate.
Right?
I love that. The what's that called? That juxtaposition of flavor.
I will go with that.
Salty,
Yes.
whatever you want to call it.
I remember the first time someone told me, put a pinch of salt on your melon. I was like, ugh, because I was at that age where you're like, ew, gross. Then I gave it a shot because you got to be open to new flavors, and it brings the melon forward in this incredible way. So let's see. Okay,
I'm gonna take my
just
other
a
spoon.
I'll gotcha.
Oop, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was it.
I went for it. Change the glow. Change the glow.
Well, I mean, and that's pretty much it. I feel like our little local recreation of our papaya coconut treasure and our huge, super nutritious hearty salad. Yeah, that's about it.
Get creative, play with your food.
Yeah,
taste
play
it,
with your food.
analyze it, adjust it, taste it again. Sorry. Oh, you got the box there. So we're going to be having a little party here because there's just so much good food. We're going to have to be enjoying it. We really hope that you are full and happy and safe and with your loved ones and enjoying another beautiful, whatever time of day it may be here in this beautiful Southwest we're blessed to live in, where this beautiful food grows and we get to play with it. We're going to throw that salad in.
Oh yeah, our final.
We'll show off our fancy food for you. And then hopefully, maybe Emily can throw us some tricky questions, right? Or whatever is on your mind.
Wow. Okay, so I just have to say that it's lucky I got to try some of the food tonight because I would be starving watching what you two just put together. That's amazing. I'm so impressed. So I did want to ask, can you bring the salad up closer to the camera? I want to see all those beautiful colors.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll come around here. All right. Here we go.
Oh my gosh, it's delicious. It makes my mouth water. Ugh, that's amazing. And
The
all of that.
smells. I wish that smells could make it through the camera. And then here is our compote.
Oh my
That
god.
beautiful herbs in there and all this lovely juice.
Amazing.
Oh,
Wow. Thank you both so much
Well,
for
thank you so
being a
much
part
for
of it.
having us. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we so appreciate it. And I think,
well,
like you're
this
saying,
has been a treat.
oh, go ahead.
No, it's been a treat, Emily. And, this is, how lucky are we to be able to contribute to our community in the ways that we do? And, I think it's important to thank everyone who is enjoying these beautiful meals, because by doing so, you're supporting local first, you're supporting your local farmers, you're supporting your local community, and we are all in this. We are here together. So I say thank you to each of you for sharing our values around food, around people, around place, and let us continue to find ways to enjoy it together, even if it's from far away.
Absolutely. We're so grateful to everybody that's participated as an attendee and those that have done the cooking and done such an incredible job of making sure we keep everybody safe, but also represent our local restaurant community the way that, Chef Blaine Bailey with In the Weeds, and then these two from Manna and Cooking Matters have come together to support Eat Zawadi this week has been really inspiring. So thank you for that. And thank you again to all of the participants as well. And I also want to give, another final shout out to all of our sponsors who made this whole thing possible. Just as Rebecca was saying, the money from this is going directly to restaurants, farmers, nonprofits are supported every week. And we really couldn't do that without the support of our community partners. So big shout out to In the Weeds and Blaine Bailey in particular. He has done so much work for this. The Good Food Collective, Durango Land and Homes, Sante, Ride Responsible, Resilient Restaurants, Basin, and Clean Commute Week. They have all been such supportive partners. So thank you to everybody. And we hope that you'll join us in the future as we come up with more, safe and adapted events this year. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.